Hi, Chiquez. Welcome to this very fun and playful class called Shaking and Dancing, or Dancing and Shaking. Moving in general, it's really one of the oldest way to expand and transform consciousness and be in your body. I hope you love this class as much as I enjoyed making it for you. Take your left hand onto your belly and your right hand underneath your low back as low as you can go. I love to do this to access soft belly breaths at the beginning of class, which really that connection to my breath stays with me throughout. Even when I start doing like really nonsensical, really fast movements. And I love the backhand there to realize just how buoyant my breath is, and I breathe in the backside of my body as much as I breathe in the front of my body. So I just switch my grip here and I continue these long and slow and breaths in through my nose and breaths out through my mouth. You'd welcome to do, in through your nose as well. But the point here is just to slow down and really be in your body and to access that power of Kundalini Shakti, that power of breath. And from here, we'll go up to our rib cage and place the hands to the rib cage and feel the expansion there. And bringing it just a bit higher, but keeping that connection still with the belly, the legs, the feet, and then expanding from the lungs and the heart, a bit more of an horizontal axis. Feel of the breath in and around the heart. And taking your time, cultivating an intimate relationship with your breath. What does it mean for you to connect with the life of you, the love of you, the vitality of you, the aliveness of you? Now extend your arms out like the letter T. And I like to start to do this exercise. Well, I'll meet with my right hand, my left. And I'll do the same on the other side as I literally very tactile. I'll take my hand back to center and all the way to the other side. It's almost a little twist here happening in my hips and my pelvis. It feels really nice on my low back. You could adapt this move by not moving the lower body too much and just staying with the arms, but just try it out. You could also do this move on a seat, just on a chair, and you'll see I'll recreate this when we stand up. So on to the other side, super fluid, super weavy, love the floor. It's really nice to have the back on the earth as a sign of trust and safety. And then from here, I like to curl my wrists and curl my heels. Again, this is so underestimated, the fact of just creating little circles with the joints and just brings so much circulatory fluid into your system, and again really just ignite all this liquid that's inside you. Then we'll go into some twists. So your feet are mat width. My mat is round for this one, but again, I want you to know you don't need a mat. You don't need special clothes or anything to do this practice today. You just need your body, your breath. So I just start waving my knees one side and then the other to just access my hips and my low back. And then I'll curl up to a sitting and I will start my breath and then to stand. So we'll take the palms up as you inhale and then as you exhale, pressing it down. And we do that 3 vertically and then 3 on the horizontal plane. And I will really invite you in this class to not worry too much about what I do and really tap into this intuitive place. When I do this by myself, I often lose track, even though it's just 3 on each plane. And it's okay. I really try not to worry about that too much. The movements are just here to kind of embody what the breath does in your body all the time, what your cells do in your body. This idea that you don't only breathe with your heart and your lungs, your breath is really in and around you, not just inside you, outside you. And I love this breath for this teaching. It's when I do this, I almost imagine I'm creating my own little bubble. From here, I'll start to walk around and kind of claiming my space. And whichever room you are, really just get off your mat and walk around with the immensity of you. This idea that, in Chic West, we talk a lot about us, our being, giant. And once we realize that we tap into our breath as power, we really access that. I love that idea. And so continuing on your own throughout whichever room you are. And you see, I kind of almost get bigger and bigger. My hands seem they're going wider. And I catch myself often, going too fast. So that helps me slow down. And I'll seal this practice, breathing practice, with being still. I'm doing my biggest flows with my hands. Continue. For 3 and 2 and 1. Tadasana, palms face out. See what's happened in my body now. I'll find a little squat. I'll place my palms together and I'll just do a little bounce. Little bounce, a little bounce. A bit longer than I want to. My jaw is nice and soft. Reach your arms up, inhale, back. And then we'll continue this flow. So inhale, reach your arms up. And then palms back. So again, don't worry too much about what I do. Just go with your pace. Like bounce, 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 and up. Inhale, back to your center. Bounce, 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 bounce. Up and palms to your center. And then back at Tadasana. Now right into my roots to rise breath. Ha! So I pretend I'm pulling roots out. I reach high and then go ha. Continue in, up, and ha. Back to Tadasana. Now place your arms like the letter T, and we'll do that same movement we did on our backs, but we are standing up. These kind of reach, palms touch, and very tactile with the body, touching yourself, feeling yourself here. From the horizontal plane, the plane of the heart, which will really be helpful as we move towards this class. Okay, roots to rise up and go ha. Roots to rise and ha. Last one, roots to rise up, ha, and Tadasana. Okay, now we're getting into really like the movement stuff. I'll get to have your hips, get your boogie on. So I like to bring my hands kind of like the letter V, and I get some sass on. I was kind of having fun there. And then I get really shaken. Really get in your tailbone. And I remember when I first did that, it felt so natural. So get a nice groove on. I kind of get really nice tribal music for this. I have a playlist for this class that you might like, but by all means, get the music that really gets you going. So now I'm going around my studio, shaking my booty, shaking my tailbone, going back to a lot of attitude into my hips, and owning my hips, owning my movements. So then I get a V shape with my hands, and I kind of to stop and get kind of a little pause, A shape with my hands, get the shaking going. And really, that's just really what you are, right? You're just shaking and jumping, and it doesn't need to make sense. And get your head on board. When I teach this with a group, we let our hair down. Okay, so we get our boogie on, and we look silly, and it's the whole point. If you don't look silly, I'm sorry, you're not doing it right. So then I got one leg, and then I was really, one leg and then the other, going for it. You've got this. Okay, so I like to do one hip, the other hip, and then I get shaken my tailbone. And then chair pose as I get some waves. And those are nice and cooling waves that you can incorporate in your shaken and your hip. There I go again. Hip one way and hip the other way. And shake, 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 shake. Jump, 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 jump. The pants are coming down. Okay, and really moving with abandon, with freedom. Now I get into a little bit of a cat stance as I go from one side to the other, kind of making a little cat movement. One way and then the other. I was also inspired to do jumping jacks here after my little, there they are. Little jumping jack, good old Jane Fonda, and then more hips, more swirls. Really getting into the groove, the feeling in my body. Then I do this little sequence when I reach my arms up. I go into a side stretch, just a side stretch. One side, I grab my wrist, and then the other. Keep shaking and never stop. Okay, shaking, arms up and jazz fingers, shake, shake, shake. And then I go into kind of a funny burpee, I call it, knees. I give myself little circles through my waist, and then I jump back up, kind of up and down, hips to heel, and then back up, and then I'll pick up the pace here. So keeping the heart rate going, keeping, just moving essentially up, down, up, down. If that'd be too much for you, just, jumping would be perfectly fine. And I'll keep shaking here. We always get to this breaking point, and when we get to surpass that point, that's when it's really, really powerful. So just go on, just nonsensical, doesn't make sense, reflective movement. So there's no, just doing what feels good. And slowing down if slowing down feels good, but keep the movement going. So I'll go into a lunge here, right leg forward. So perhaps take your time with the two first one. So it's right leg forward, and then I do a twist, and then I'll go really fast through each leg. My body does allow me to do that. Be mindful of your low back when you do these twists as you flip from one side to the other. And then slowing down near the end, I keep my forward fold. I bend my knees a lot. I'm not going from one side to the other with my upper body, kind of almost like a washing machine. And then I like to go all the way up and do a bit of a 360 and keeping with the rhythm. I had some really nice music going here to keep me going. And the shaking and dance is really nice when you really want to rock to music. Really helps, to dance and get the get the shakes on. A little bit more on your own time. Just go for it. And then I kind of do these scissor shape. It doesn't really look like scissors, but I get my arms on a horizontal plane and I just keep going from one side to the other. I get my hips on board too, as you can tell. And I keep moving. So I keep at it, and it's kind of just my style. I can't go too far from the yoga, so I'm going to drop a warrior one here on one side and then the other, and then go from this side and then the other, keeping the heart rate going. Into a low squat as I work my shoulders front and back. I think I was singing there. And I'll keep jumping. Oh, I got the claps on board. Clapping is really, really nice. So it keeps the rhythm going. And then I'll go into a standing pigeon. I'll cross my arms and then I'll go, it's a bit of a goddess jump here, goddess leap. So I'll go sweep up with my arms as I change my leg from my goddess leap. And keep, it's nice to connect to a bit more breath here as I do these movements. The inhale always ascends, and then as you exhale, land. Okay, and it's really nice to almost like counterbalance for a bit more cooling when you're so into the fire. Oh yeah, that's my favorite. So out full and in, out and in, out and in, out and in, and then roots. Ha! Roots to rise, go ha, and continue ha. All right, and then slapping one side and the other, just slap. So good for your lymphatic, keeping you nice and healthy and alert. And this class, it's always going like just way beyond your limit. Be like, I kind of want to stop now, and just doing it a little bit more slapping. So just going over the edge. So I'll do one last little shake, little jump, forward and back. We're almost to the end here as we approach getting down low on the mat. I love doing these like bicycle kind of shapes to the body, and kind of like the cross-country ski. So anything that should rock your boat. This is a Nia-inspired move. So I reach the right arm up and I do a cross to the other side. So here I'm showing you on the other side. By all means, just do what feels good. This class is not meant to be about instructions at all. Okay, a big exhale. So I'll go ahead and stand still in Tadasana, and I'll go back to my breath, 3 ups and 3 to the side. On inhale. Here I'm inhaling through my nose, exhaling through my nose. Out to the side. I'm feeling how much my body has changed from the beginning of the class. And moving on to a seat, extend your legs in a straddle. And I'll start pressing down with my palms down my legs for a bit more of a rooting exercise. I often do this before starting a class. A bit more self-massage, and then I'll have my hands to my arms as I kind of touch my body in space. Touch my body in space. From here, side stretches. One side and the other, getting into the intercostal muscles, I look very serious there. And I'll go back to just touching myself on my arms and cultivating presence, embodiment. And then both forearms on the mat. If your arms don't reach, have yourself a brick, or even like just have your arms on a towel. It helps. You have your chin to your chest. And my legs are still nice and active here, but if you'd rather be completely passive, you're welcome to. And then we'll go into a figure 4. Right heel to the top of the left thigh, point that right toes, tent out your fingers so your spine is nice and long. And for a twist, left hand to the outside of the right thigh, right hand to the back. Yeah. And we'll go counter twist, one side and then the other. And left knee up and pull in just a little bit and get into the digestive tract, and we'll do the other side. So bend the left knee up, figure 4. Nice and active, long spine. And for a twist, right hand to the outside of the left thigh, left hand back. Breathe in as you inhale, exhale, twist, and onto the other side for a little counter twist action. Keep my face nice and relaxed. As I finish this, I'll come back to center and I'll give myself a little hug in. I extend my legs out for Paschimottanasana as I round my body up and now get really restorative, really passive, chin to chest, and roll back up. Little ripples through the spine as I let my body settle after all the shaking and dancing. It feels nice. And then finally we'll go on our backs. Extend your arms out. Keep your knees bent if you'd like. And last little dead bug shaking arms and legs, getting the blood flow the reverse for even more of an ignition of the whole vitality of your body. I give myself a nice jaw and face massage here as I pull my thighs in and extend fully. And let the knees go on one side and then on the other. So I stayed longer on my side. If you'd like to keep things moving, you're welcome to. But I was kind of accessing a really nice front thigh stretch. I'll go from one side and then the other. Really sink in to the ground. Yeah, a little more, and then we'll extend your legs out for Shavasana. Both hands on your belly as you go back to the beginning of class, which is now the end of class. And find your deep belly breaths. Those breaths and the invigorating feeling felt when you dance, when you shake, really stays with you for the entire day after that, longer even. Put your hands to your chest now, filling it up. And finally, set the arms alongside the body, away from the body, a full and grand relaxation, Shavasana, completely surrendering. And slowly coming back, reach your arms up and away, big stretch out as you roll on to one side. And come up to a seat on your knees or cross-legged. palms face down as I seal in my practice. And an inner bow to the giant within. Palms together. Namaste. Good job, guys. High five.